Hello friends, welcome to Learner's Planet. Friends, this is our third session for profit and loss. I hope you might have revised the previous two sessions of profit and loss and you are clear with the basics of this topic. Let's begin to take some new problems in this session. Let's see this problem. Jacob bought a scooter for a certain sum of money. He spent 10% of the cost on repairs and sold the scooter for a profit of rupees 1100. How much did he spend on repairs if he made a profit of 20%? Friends, let's assume the cost price, that means his buying price is X. Now he's spending 10% of it on repairs. That means X by 10 is he is spending on repairs. That means the new cost price is 11x by 10. Okay, that is new cost price. Now he is making a profit of 1100. Friends, profit is always part of cost price. Okay, he is making 20% profit and that is equivalent to 1100. Now profit is always a part of cost price. That means 20% of the cost price is his profit. 20% of the cost price is his profit. Okay, so we can calculate the cost price. That means X is equal to 5,000. Now 10% of 5,000 he has spent on repairs. That means 500 he might have spent on repairs. I hope you are clear. Now let's see this problem. When a plot is sold for rupees 18,700, the owner loses 15%. At what price the plot be sold to gain 15%? Friends, it's the selling price which is given to us. Now selling price by cost price is equal to 15% loss. That means it is 85%. Or we can say selling price is 85% of the cost price. Now selling price we are given, that is 18,700. Now we can find out the cost price. It's 100 into 18,700 by 85. Okay, now this is the cost price. Now we have to find out the selling price for making a profit of 15%. That means of this cost price we have to on this cost price we have to make a profit of 15%. That means the new selling price must be 15% more than that, or we can say it should be 115% of this data. Okay, so the new selling price is equal to 115% of this data. Okay, so it's so 25,300 is the selling price to gain 15%. Okay, I hope you are clear. Now let's see this problem. This problem is quite similar to the previous one which we have discussed just now. Now a fruit seller sells mangoes at the rate of rupees 9 per kg and thereby loses 20%. At what price per kilogram he should have sold them to make a profit of 5%. Now friends, I am not writing the each and every statement as in previous question. I am just writing the final things which you should write in your exam. Okay, now what is the selling price? It is 9 rupees per kg. Now selling price by cost price is the ratio of profit or loss. Here it is loss and it is selling price. So selling price divided by loss part, that is 20% loss. That means selling price is 80% of the cost price. Okay, so selling price by 0.8, it will, this data will produce the cost price. Now this is the cost price and we want to make a profit of 5%. That means the new selling price must be 1.05 of this expression. This is the entire expression which you should write in your examination, nothing more than that. Okay, so just solve it and get the answer. Okay, I hope you can do this calculation and you'll be getting the answer as 11.81. Okay, now let's say this problem, quite similar to the previous one. A dealer sold a machine for rupees 630, thereby losing 10%. At what price he should have sold the machine to earn a profit of 15%? Further, the loss is 10%. That means the cost price will be selling price by 0.9. Okay, since SP by CP is 0.9, that means SP by 0.9 will be CP. Okay, so 630 by 0.9 is the cost price. Now the selling price should be 115% of this. Okay, so it is 115% of cost price. Okay, so this is the new selling price. Okay, now just solve it. So it's 7 into 115, that must be 875. Okay, I hope you are clear. Now let's say this question, a very simple question. No need to go for any sort of paperwork. Sell price and cost price ratio is given as 7:5 and we have to find out the ratio of profit and cost price. Now if sell price is 7 part, cost price is 5 part, that means profit is 2 part. Okay, now profit is 2 part and what is the cost price? It is 5 part. So the ratio should be 2:5. So it's none of these over here. Since 5:2 is given, but we are asked about profit to cost price, not cost price to profit. So it is none of these. Be careful. Now in this question, a person gains 20% by selling an article for a certain price. If he sells at double the price, the percentage of profit will be. Now SP by CP is equal to 1.2, isn't it? Since it is 20% profit. If he sells it at double the price, that means the selling price is double. That means suppose I multiply to this side, then in that case I have to multiply even to this side. Okay, so the percentage of profit will be what? It is 2.4, that is 1 plus 1.4, that means 140% extra. Whatever the extra quantity from 1 is the profit part, and 1.4, if we multiply it by 100, it will be 140%. I hope you are getting my point. Now just see this question. If selling price is double, the profit triples, find the profit percent. Friends, very simple question, very simple, even in fact we can say the game of fraction. It is SP by CP is equal to 1 plus X. That X is profit part. As I have mentioned in the previous questions also, that the data after 1 or the data that is extra from 1 is profit part. Okay, now if selling price is double, that means the new selling price is 2 times of this selling price. Okay, in this case if I multiply left hand side by 2, I have to multiply right hand side by 2 also. So it's 2 times 1 plus X. So it is 2 plus 2x. In that case the profit will be the data after 1 or the data which is extra from 1, which is 1 plus 2x over here. So if selling price is doubled, the profit will be 1 plus 2x. Okay, and what is mentioned over here, if selling price is double, the profit triples. Initially the profit was x, now the profit is 3x. Okay, and this is nothing but this 1 plus 2x, since we are doubling the selling price. Initially x was the profit, now 1 plus 2x is the profit, and the relationship between them is the new profit is 3 times the previous profit. Okay, so it's 1 plus 2x. that means x is equal to 1. That means SP by CP is equal to 1 plus 1. That means the profit part is 1. That means 100% profit is there. Okay. I hope you are getting my point. It's just a game of fraction, nothing more than that, and a very simple problem. Now friends, once again a simple game of fraction. At what profit percent must an article be sold so that by selling half that price there is a loss of 30%. That means we have to find out SP by CP. Now we have been provided with a condition that if the selling price is halved, that means the new selling price is SP by 2P. Okay, then it is CP, and then in that case there is a loss of 30%. That means this data is equal to 0.7. Since there is a loss of 30%, that means the SP by CP ratio will be 0.7. Okay, so in this case SP by CP will be 1.4, which we want. Okay, now what is profit over here? If profit data is the data after 1, that is 0.4. So in percentage it is 0.4 into 100, so it is 40%. Okay, as simple as that. Even you don't require to go for any sort of paperwork. Now let's see this problem. A person sold 18 coats for rupees 16,800 and gaining thereby the cost price of 3 coats. Now the cost price of a single piece we have to find out. Now friends, let's assume the cost price of one piece is X. Okay, CP of one coat is rupees X. Okay, now what is profit? It is selling price minus cost price. Okay, so what is selling price? 16,800. What is cost price of 18 coats? It is 18x. And what is the profit? That is cost price of 3 coats, that is 3x. Okay, so 21x is equal to 16,800. That means x is equal to 800. As simple as that. Okay, sometimes the problem looks like tedious, but it happens to be simple. Okay, I'm sure you are clear. Now let's see this problem. It is also quite similar to that previous problem, and friends, just pause the session, you try to solve it on your own and then match your answers with mine. If on selling 12 notebooks, a seller makes a profit equal to selling price of 4 notebooks, what is his profit percent? Now in this case, profit is equal to selling price of 4 notebooks. Now SP minus CP is profit. Okay, now let's assume the selling price of per notebook is X. Okay, now what will be selling price of 12 notebooks? In that case it will be 12x minus CP, and profit is the selling price of 4 notebooks. That means the profit is 4x. Now CP is equal to what? 8x. Now we have to find out the percentage profit. That means SP by CP. Now SP of 12 notebooks is 12x and CP of 12 notebooks is 8x. Okay, it's 3 by 2, that means 1.5. That means 50% profit. I hope your answer is matching with mine. Now friends, once again I am taking a similar problem. Once again I would recommend you to pause the session and solve it on your own, then match your answer with mine. On selling 17 balls at rupees 720, there is a loss equal to cost price of 5 balls. What is the cost price of a single ball? Now further, SP minus CP is equal to profit or loss. Here in this case it is loss, so we'll just mention CP minus SP. Okay, now let's assume the cost price of one ball is X rupees. That means the cost price for 17 balls will be 17x. Okay, and what is loss? The loss is equal to cost price of 5 balls. And what is the cost price of 5 balls? It is 5x. That means SP is equal to 12x. Okay. That means the total selling price is 12x while selling the 17 balls, and we are given that it is 720. That means 12x is 720, x is 60, which is cost price of a ball. Okay, I hope you are getting my point, and definitely your answer is matching with mine. Now let's take a similar problem. So your concept is cleared once for all. The vendor loses selling price of 4 oranges on selling 36 oranges, his loss percentage. In this case, we are provided both the data in the terms of selling price. Now let's assume the selling price to be X. Okay. Now since there is a loss, CP minus SP is equal to loss. Now selling price of 36 oranges will be 36x. If the selling price of one orange is x, then for 36 it will be 36x. Now CP minus 36x. In that case loss will be 4x. The selling price of 4 oranges is the loss and selling price of one orange is x, so it's 4x. That means cost price is equal to 40x. Now we have to find out the loss percent. We just calculate SP by CP ratio. SP of 36 oranges is 36x and cost price is 40x, 4, 9 and 4, 10. So it's 9 by 10, which is 1 minus 1 by 10. That means 1 by 10 is the loss data, or we can say 10% of loss is there. I hope you are clear. A very simple problem and a very simple concept. I hope your answer is also matching with mine. Now let's see this problem. A man bought apples at the rate of 8 for rupees 34 and sold them at the rate of 12 for rupees 57. How many apples should be sold to earn a net profit of rupees 45? In this case, the net profit is given in absolute value but not in percentage. Okay. So first of all, let's find the profit on unit. That means the profit on one apple. Okay. So this is the selling price, that is 57 by 12. That is per piece selling price, and 34 by 8, that is per piece cost price. Now just solve it. That means half rupees per piece is the profit. So to earn a profit of 45 rupees, the person should sell 90 apples. I hope you are clear. Quite similar problem to the previous one. A man purchased a box full of pencils at the rate of 7 for rupees 9 and sold all of them at the rate of 8 for rupees 11. In this transaction, he gained 10 rupees. How many pencils did the box contain? Further, we just calculate the profit on a single pencil. So the selling price is 11 by 8. That is a unit selling price. Okay. Minus the unit cost price, that is 9 by 7. It's 5 by 56. Okay. So per piece profit is 5 by 56 rupees. Okay. So to earn 10 rupees profit, this person might have sold 112 pencils. Okay, very simple problem. Now friends, let's say this problem quite similar to the previous one. And I would just suggest you pause the session, do the problem on your own, then match your answer with mine. A man bought some oranges at rupees 10 per dozen and bought the same number of oranges at rupees 8 per dozen. He sold these oranges at 11 rupees per dozen and gained rupees 120. And we have to find out the total number of oranges bought by him. Let's assume he is buying X dozen oranges for rupees 10 per dozen and X dozen of oranges at the rate of 8 per dozen. That means he is buying 2x dozen oranges. Okay, so total is 2x. Now what is the total price? It is 10x and it is 8x and it is 18x. Okay, now he is selling the whole lot at 11 rupees per dozen. That means 2x dozen he'll be selling for 22x. Okay, so 22x is the selling price, 18x is the cost price, and the total profit which he is earning is rupees 120. That means x is equal to 30. And we have to find out the total number of oranges, which is 2x dozen. So x is 30, that means 2x is 60, that means 60 dozen oranges he is buying. I hope you are clear. Now let's do this problem. A trader mixes 26 kg of rice at rupees 20 per kilogram with 30 kg of rice of other variety at rupees 36 per kilogram. Okay, and sells the mixture at rupees 30 per kilogram. We have to find his profit percent. Now 26 kilogram at the rate of rupees 20, the price will be 520. Then 30 kilogram at the rate of rupees 36, the price will be 1080. So the total price is 1600 and the total quantity is 56 kilogram. Okay, now selling price is 30 rupees per kilogram. That means total selling price will be 56 into 30. Okay, now 80 rupees is profit over there, since this is selling price and this is cost price. Now 80 by 1600 into 100. So it 5% profit. I hope you are clear. Friends, now let's see this problem. If 5% more is gained by selling an article for rupees 350, then by selling it for rupees 340, we have to find out the cost price of the article. Friends, profit is always on the cost price. Okay, so the difference between these selling prices, that is 350 and 340, that is 10 rupees, and it is equivalent to 5%. Okay, and the profit is definitely on the cost price. So this 5% is equivalent to this 10 rupees. That means 100% is 200 rupees. Okay, I hope you are clear. No paperwork is required at all. I just explain it once again. Since profit is always calculated on cost price. Okay, so this difference in selling prices will be equivalent to 5%, that is profit, and profit, since profit is calculated on the cost price, the 100% of it will produce the cost price. Okay, so it's rupees 200. 5% is 10, that means 100% is 200. Okay, for the same problem, if a man reduces the selling price of a fan from rupees 400 to rupees 380, his loss increases by 2%. What is the cost price of the fan? Further friends, the difference in the selling price, that is rupees 20, is equivalent to the loss, that is 2%. So if 2% is 20, 1% is 10, that means 100% is 1000, which is not there in the option, so it's none of these. A very simple concept, but you just have to keep this thing in your mind that loss or profit, whatever is this, it is always calculated on the cost price. If 2% is the increment in loss because of this price, then 100% is the cost price. Okay. Now similar problem. Here an article when sold at a gain of 5% yields rupees 15 more than when sold at a loss of 5%. Now what is the difference between 5% profit and 5% loss? Is 5% minus 5%, that is 10%. Now this 10% is equivalent to this rupees 15. That means the price difference between these two is rupees 15. I mean the price difference between these two cases is rupees 15. If 10% is 15, that means 100% is 150. That is the cost price. Okay. Now quite similar problem to the previous one. A shopkeeper sells an article at a loss of 12.5%. Had he sold it for 51.8 rupees 51.8 more, he would have earned a profit of 6%. We have to find out the cost price. Further, what is the difference between these two percentages? That is 12.5 is a loss and 6% is a profit. So it is 6 minus 12.5. So it is 6 plus 12.5, that is 18.5%. Okay. So if 18.5% is 51.8, then we have to find out the 100%. Okay. Just solve it and you will be getting the answer. And that will be rupees 280. Okay, I hope you are clear and you are getting my point. For last three problems we are applying the same concept. Now let's see a simple problem. The difference between cost price and sell price of an article is rupees 240, and if the profit is 20%, we have to find out the selling price. Now further, this is profit, it is 240, which is in percentage it is 20%. That means 20% is 240. So 100% will be 240 into 5, that is 1200 rupees. And this is cost price. Okay. So if we add profit to cost price, we'll be getting the selling price. So 1200 plus 240, that is 1440 is the selling price, which is not there in the option. So it is 1440. Okay. Friends, will be solving more such problems in our next session. Till then, do revise this session and the previous sessions of profit and loss. Bye-bye.